Okay, folks, I'm BKP with Team FYN Sports as we continue our preseason high school football coach interviews, and we're happy to get a chance to sit down today with the head coach, Sid Maxwell, with the Dawson County Tigers. Coach, how are you today?
Doing great. Ready for the season.
You ready for the season? Let's talk about that first. Are you ready for the season? Tell the fans out there that don't get a chance to keep up with it. What have you guys been doing? What was your spring practice like? What 7-on-7s, camps, what have you guys been doing up to this point and going further to get ready for the season?
Well, first of all, we graduated a lot of young men last year. I think 28 seniors, which was heavy for us. Got very few starters back. So this spring was like all coaches, but we really hit the fundamentals hard. This summer we didn't do any 7-on-7s. For me, it's not really realistic. 3 quarterbacks, and we've got young quarterbacks this year. We got 2 freshmen, a sophomore and a junior. So they needed people coming at them. So we did 3 contact camps. That way you're 11-on-11. People are rushing you all out and make them make decisions under distress.
Not to interrupt you, but you traded out to 7-on-7s for contact camps to get the younger guys simulating playing time.
Well,
because they're younger.
More realistic to
right. More realistic. Get them some real reps.
When you play 7-on-7, people
right.
are trying to do stuff. Our focus is do what we do, but a lot of times you play 7-on-7, people look to win 7-on-7, so they get away from their offense or defense. And my philosophy is, if it's not going to make you better, I'm not going to waste my time doing it. So.
No, I see, because let's go to the 28 seniors. 28 seniors is a lot of leadership. Now, you're high school football. Right. And you're coaching, obviously, on the sideline, but you enjoy it as coaches, I would presume, when you send out 28 leaders on the field at any given time that are out there. So that leadership off the field, don't like to leave guys out, but talk about not the 28 that have left. Who's replacing and who you see as picking up the leadership out there on the that game night?
You know, this is my 25th year as a head football coach, 15 at Sequoia. 5 at Lambert and 5 up here at Dawson. And my philosophy always is to focus on whatever your senior class is. Start there, give them opportunity to lead. Then if you have a sophomore or junior that comes out. And my philosophy as far as leadership, you want to start with your seniors, your juniors, your sophomores, work your way down. But before I crown someone to be a leader, there are mannerisms through the spring football, through summer, through the fall before we play, before I actually say, hey, these are going to be the guys who lead my team. And when I say that, before I put that crown on their head, I'm looking for those guys that, you know, some people have been doing this for a long time. You put that crown on their head, and they feel like they're better than everybody else because you made them a leader.
I like that, Coach.
And when they raise their head up, what happens to their crown? It falls off. So that guy is not who I'm looking for. I'm not looking for that guy that when everything's going good, he's a great leader, but when everything doesn't go good, and it's going to be that time's going to happen, he's going to drop his head and the crown comes off. So the guys we anoint going into this season is going to be the ones that keep the crown on their head. And that when we're in issues, having challenges, they're right there leading the way, looking straight in their eyes, the crown staying tall. When I crown them, they don't feel like they're better than the next guy. They're doing the workmanlike relationship just like the other team and all working as one. So that's where how I judge leadership, and it's usually through their actions. It's you really can't do it through their words. So we'll evaluate every year that guys we come in and play, we obviously look and see our seniors first, who we can crown. But if we have a junior that has, or even a sophomore ahead of his time that displays that type of leadership, we look to notice those guys that can lead the way, because I'm not out there charging the hill, and I've got to put guys in situations when the going gets tough, that they keep their focus and play the next play.
Let me move on from that. When did you say 25 years coaching?
As head football coach.
Right, head football.
This is my 31st all together.
You can have people out there doing the math on your age if you want, Coach. I wasn't trying. All right, just joking. 25 years. So let me say this. Let me ask you, after 25 years, year after year, you see a senior class graduate, you've seen it for a long time, and you show up, and I'm just going to put it like this, you guys are on the sideline, I know you do a lot of fall weight room and stuff, but let's just say on the sideline, and there's those couple guys that did not get the playing time underneath the umbrella of seniors,
Right.
that you're standing there as head coach and saying, okay, these guys come to play. Wow, I'm impressed. This, that. Not to leave anybody out. Is there a couple players that we can highlight today, or talk about that, or stepping up into the senior roles as far as their players?
It's really too early to tell, to be honest with you. I mean, really until we get the pads on, go through the process. I don't get the cart before the horse and say, I give you a few names and turn around and that crown's on the ground. Okay. So I just, they're going to be earning that, and they all know that. My philosophy is simple. We try to play as many seniors as we can in the program, so if you're going to back up, we give them the first opportunity to go out to perform because this is their last year of football. And I don't focus so much on winning. I focus on taking care of the players. And I'm a player-type coach that you've been out here, you've been working hard, we're going to give you an opportunity. And if you get the job done, then you keep the job. But all my seniors have the first right to try to get the playing time because they've earned that right with me. And they also know that they need to be better than a sophomore or junior who's competing for it because they got another year. So, I think you build a program, it's from the ground up. And young men need to know, three simple things. One, do you care? Do you care for them? And whether you score 1 touchdown or 20 touchdowns, you're the same to me when I teach in the weight room. You're the same way I coach. Whether you're on varsity or JV, it doesn't matter. 2, are you committed to them? Do you show up here every day and give full energy? That's what I challenge my staff to do, and that's what we focus on doing. And 3, do they really trust the system that we're putting in? Okay, because those 3 things we're going to build our football team on: trust, care, and commitment. And evaluate our guys to be part of that system. They all know the system. They've been in the system since my 6th grade now, and I have 6 football teams that I'm over. We have a 6th grade team, a 7th grade team, an 8th grade team, a 9th grade team, JV, and varsity. So I've sort of encompassed a system here that I've got 29 on staff that go all the way down, that teaching the system. All the boys are done start at 3. At the middle school, we'll have 6th, 7th, and 8th. This year at the middle school, starting at 3, they all finish at 5. They know when I'm starting, know when I'm finishing. Up here I have 9 through 12. We bust our 9th grade over, and they're with us, and we start at 3, we finish at 5. So it's just a system. The young men know that whatever we do, we're going to try to make them a better athlete, either through athletic performance, strength, and speed, and also the system. And they also know I'm never going to ask them to do anything that doesn't have a purpose. And that's where you have to build that trust, and that way you're going to get 100% out of practice because I'm not doing to do, I'm not putting time in. Right now, you've got to streamline everything in this world. I have been doing it for a long time. Here's what I've learned. If you do what you've always done, you're going to be a dinosaur. And all the dinosaurs are extinct. So you got to change with the time. Everything's fast. And that's the reason I went from a weak team background to an attack offense that's spread, no huddle, attack. We attack on defense. We do everything full speed. We do everything all out. And our system's built that way. And
just to go back, and I don't want to put too much time into this, but you actually went into, there's a couple general areas when we do our preseason interviews I like to make sure we're covering. This is your 4th season here as head coach, and I can see, I've been on the sidelines, that you feel very strong that you've got to put the effort into the feeder programs to bring up. So you're in your 4th year here, and I always see new coaches, there's a lot of them around, and their first year, obviously, they're getting their feeder programs, the whole thing. You're in year 4. How are you seeing the results of what happened on year 1 when you got here and said, hey, this guy's this size, you're going to be...
Well, we've had 4 years, and obviously we didn't have a 6th or 7th.
Right, exactly.
And our 8th grade had really no continuity with the high school when I first got here. And that first year, I tried to focus on trying to get to high school, learn the system, because that's when we're going to be measured on. And then after we had success on that first year, which we had tremendous success building the coaching staff and with the players performing, it was a lot easier now to go down to the 8th grade. And I took the 8th grade over, And then the next year I took over the 6th and 7th, the 7th grade. Then the next year I took over the 6th grade. So I really wanted a 6 through 12. That's what I had at Sequoia. Didn't quite get that in Forsyth because they've got junior high football there, which sort of throws a wrench in the system. But if you, to me, football is like a foreign language. An off-tackle play is an off-tackle play, but every coach calls an off-tackle play different. And so when we call whatever our play for off-tackle is, we're going to hear the same terminology in the 6th grade all the way up to the 12th grade, so it's like anything else. The more you learn something, it's about, if you know, I try to tell them, you need to know it as well as you know your name. So if we can play and teach a system that every year they do the same thing, time they get up here with us, you say it, oh, I know what that is. I go, it's like as well as you know your name. If you do that, you're going to play faster than if you have to sit there and you have to think through this play, I do this, and just through repetition is the mother of all learning. And so that's sort of build that basis, and if you're going to rise to the top, you got to have a great foundation. So that's how I try to always build things from Sequoia on over, trying to build that with coaches and with players.
You know, with 25 years in, sorry to be redundant about that because there's a lot of things that you've done throughout your career that I've followed that I really admire and respect, Coach. At 25 years in, regardless of the, my thought would be, I don't like when somebody just says, hey, Coach, what was your favorite team? Right. I personally don't ask that question, but regardless of the record at the end of the year, I'm of the opinion that there's something special about every single team you've coached over the 25 years that are memorable to you. So my question here, forget last year, what is it about this team right now? What is it that you're say, hey man, I'm really enjoying this with this team. I'm really enjoying this with this group. You know, what is it about this team? How do you like your chances to compete with these guys this year?
Well, it's the good thing about having so many wide open positions. You have competition. The second thing, being so young, they're eager to learn and they want to appease and learn. But two, they also know that with that trust, care, and commitment, we're building that foundation for success, and they're going to be coachable. And I think with this group, they're really buying into what we're trying to do. One, they know they need to do that. When you put in freshmen and sophomores and against upperclassmen that may be out there with you on varsity, the margin of error becomes really huge if those kids are not learning the system. I mean, they've got to believe in what we're doing, and they got to do it full speed and close that gap, and they can't flinch. And I think the biggest thing about this football team is the team chemistry, and the coaching staff know how much we care for them, and buying in and trying to play. To me, I get really excited about having a team with less people coming back. One, I'm old, so I can quit any time I want to, but that's not the reason I do that. But two, is the challenge for me to take young men who've never been there and their time to shine and the commitment it takes and the obligation it takes for them to be able to have success puts it on us to get the job done coaching. And we got to reach them. We may know what the terminology is and talk football lingo, but if they don't understand the lingo we're talking, we got to break it down where they can be successful.
And this team, not to interrupt you, Coach, but this team here, this is your seniors before you've graduated out. This is the team from freshmen, juniors, sophomores, seniors that actually came through the feeder.
So you're waiting on the program.
Right.
And we've got one returner back on offense.
Right.
Okay. And we've got, I think, two back on the defense. And so, which is, we had a pretty good football team last year. We won 10 football games, and that would come with experience. Our challenge this year is take younger guys and try to play at the higher level and at least play to their capacity. Like I always tell them, it's not the best team that wins. It's the one that executes for 48 minutes. So our challenge is going to be trying to execute 48 minutes. When you get off track a little bit, make sure our crown doesn't hit the ground, and we stay focused and play the next play. So,
out of my 10 years of Team FYN Sports and being on the sideline, I have spent a lot of nights on Friday night with 3A Region 7. Love the region. I mean, we're involved in others, but love the region. particularly here in the last season. This is now a very tough region. Let me go through a couple of things. Cherokee Bluff last year was an expansion, but it came out of Flowery Branch, and they basically took a very good JV team and was playing varsity. They're competitive right out of the box. It's not going to be 2 or 3 years. East Hall, Fannin County, Chad Cheatham comes in last year and had some success. They went to the first round, and the guys are buying in there. Lumpkin County has a new head coach, and you're not going to have that. You're not going to have that wing T. He's going to spread it out, and they've got a lot of good talent on there. So tell me a little bit about Region 7 this year to you, what you're looking at some of these teams and how it stacks up.
Well, my background actually comes from the higher levels, playing 7-day ball, or it was 6A when I was at school. It was the highest, and my experience in 3A is, people say 7A, 3A. There's not a whole lot of difference. They just may have more of the offensive lineman type of kids or numbers. But as far as talent, I've played as many talented teams in 3A that I ever have, even in 7A when I was at Lambert, and 6A when that was the highest classification at Sequoia. So I think the A sometimes gets people thinking that you're stepping down. But I can speak for 7A. You got good coaches here that do a great job and get your young men ready to play. As far as talent, it's equal to what I've had at my other 2 places I've been at.
As far as talent, what do you tell your players? How do you approach that? Because as a coach, how do you say, and we'll close up with this, how do you say to your guys, or what do you sit down and say, and you don't want to say there's a bottom team in the region. I'm not saying that, I'm not asking that. Or this is the one you checked off in the win column. There's not that in this region. This is a solid region all the way through. What do you explain to you guys that you got to come to win every Friday night? Don't be looking out there this one's weak or that one's weak, because you are sitting in one of the most enjoyable to me competitive regions there is. So what do you tell the guys about playing in a region like this?
I think anytime you're dealing with any high school athlete or really anybody, simplicity is the key. So I really don't get them to focus outside of themselves. Doing what we do. We take care of us, we do our job. Then if that's not good enough, we'll shake your hand at the end of the game. But if we focus on the perimeters outside, to me it always comes inside, comes within of us. And so we do our job, we execute us, and no matter who we play, if we all execute them, no matter what talent level they have, then we have a great chance of success if we take care of the football and do the little things it takes to be successful.
Coach, I appreciate you very much. We thank you for sitting down with us in our preseason series on coaches' interviews. We thank you very much. We look forward to watching the Dawson Tigers on Friday night, and we appreciate it. And I know you're getting ready for 8:23 when Habersham Central comes to town and getting you guys ready. Thanks a lot, Coach. I appreciate it. BKP here, Team FYN Sports, with the head coach of the Dawson Tigers, Sid Maxwell.
Thank you.